Hello and welcome to our new show, Secret Sauce, where we have questions posed by you guys and ourselves to people within the industry to have a deeper look at what goes on within within the esports industry. In this season, we're tackling coaching, and we have two experienced coaches with us, Vetrez and Mr. G. We have myself, Jamil, and Omar as well on the show. And without further ado, let's start.
What is one essential skill to being a good coach? Since both of you are coaches and you have experience in this domain, what is, in your opinion, one essential skill that can be acquired as a coach that is very essential for you? And what is like one of the difficulties to being a coach? Shall we start with Vetrez?
Yeah, sure. So this is a question which has like a million answers, I think, because there's so much stuff that you need to learn or that you could learn.
That's why you said one.
That's why. That's why. Like I picked, like for me, one of the most essential ones is that as a coach, you should actually try to get on a good side of a player, or like you need to understand the motives behind his actions or like her actions in regards of being the players, because sometimes you don't really know why players don't do certain things, or like why they react to stuff differently than others. And it's also a thing with players, like if you start to be like on the top tier level, it's hard to work with players that have a huge ego basically out of their whole career, because they will have achievements and everything, and they won't listen to you if you don't have the achievements. Like some of them I personally notice as well, they only take you seriously if you already have some achievements on the table. So the skill that you need to learn as a coach is like to get on the player side, that you can actually interact with them and you understand their reasons why they do certain things like wrong, or why they decide to do certain stuff in a way that they are doing it. So this is actually one of the skills that is most important in coaching, what I found out myself. And also one difficulty is to actually gain the trust of your players, which is like, I don't know if that's a real skill, but I think to gain the trust of your players, you have to have the skill of understanding them. And they have to, like some players, for example, are will only trust you if they see that you have the skills that it takes. And some players will trust you when you listen to them and when they can talk freely. So it's like individually completely different from player to player. And this is a skill which is essential to have, and also the difficulty to master, because this is actually the thing that will lead you from being good to being one of the best.
Can I ask Vetrez a question?
Yeah, sure.
Because for me, skills are learnable, and the first one that you mentioned, which I would label as the skill of rapport building. You're able to build that relationship, and that can be learned. How did you learn it? Did you actually learn it as a skill? Did somebody say to you, hey, there's a couple of strategies that you can use from different areas that help you build relationship, or did you learn it by experience?
I think it's more of a 50-50 part, because I worked at a bank before where I had to do sales. So you had to learn empathy, basically. Like that is the thing that I would say that I learned the most. And then with experience, you also learn the behavior of players. And then the more you work with higher tier players, like the more skills you also gain as a coach or as a staff member. So I would say it's like actually 50-50. It's a skill that you can have naturally, like if you're more empathetic.
Empathetic, yeah.
Yeah, empathetic. But it's also something that you can learn. Like it's some people have that from the start of their lives, and other ones need to learn it to actually understand feelings better. because this is more of your own personality traits that will factor into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had the same kind of question when it came to what you said about trust, right?
Yeah.
Or building trust. And on the one hand, saying that building trust is a learnable skill means that there's got to be some steps you can take to learn to build trust, which is not always easy, I think. I'm going to go to a couple of things that I think would support what Vetris says is important, and look at it this way. Coaches and managers are often experts. And the problem with being more expert is that something in you automatically knows the answer, and wants to share that answer. And I'd say a skill that is learnable is to shut up.
Okay.
I'll put it the other way a little bit more nicely.
You mean listening, like active listening? Yeah.
More than active listening. I think active listening is a nice way to put it, because it's been taught over and over and over, and it's written about and all these sorts of things. But the person who said it best, I think, still was probably Simon Sinek, and I know not everybody is a fan and all these sorts of things. And you don't have to be to understand a good explanation. And he said listening, but he said, be the last one to speak.
Okay.
And I think that is the key. That's why I said, shut up.
Yeah.
If there is the question, if there is the problem, if there is we need a strategy against the team, we need to play this map better, we need to somehow step up our game. If you're the coach, it doesn't mean the rest of the people in the room aren't experts. They all are.
Yeah.
All those players are experts. And if you think you know the answer, then it's actually one answer. Whereas if you adopt the approach of be the last one to speak, then you have accumulated all the information in the room. I also believe that this helps you build trust, the other one that Vetris pointed out there.
Yeah.
By giving the others the opportunity to speak, you gain their trust because they know what they have to say is important. And the other way to build trust, I think, is to do what you say you will do and mean what you say when you say it. So it's integrity in a way. Be the perfect example of integrity and professional. And I don't know if it is a skill, but it's certainly something that people can watch. And that is quite simply tough love.
Yeah.
Tough love for me is be professional on the one hand and be supportive on the other. And you can learn to be professional and you can learn to be supportive. But I will also put it out there, Omar, as being what you asked for, being the most difficult thing. In fact, all of them.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I would say coaches have difficulty with this because something in them assumes that because I'm the coach, I have the answer. Because I'm the expert, I have the answer. And sometimes, though, you might find someone has a better answer, solution or process or strategy or thing like that. So that would be my answer to this one.
And that's a very nice answer.
Thank you. I have enough grey hair to have gotten this wrong so very often. Yeah, so that's probably that one was really experience speaking there.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, especially the difficulties, how it's something that it's really all up to experience. Also, like, you reminded me of like yes-anding with people. like when you speak last, or like when you're in a meeting or you have a group meeting, you want to listen to everyone because, for example, yes, the decision has to come from you as, for example, a coach or a team manager. So it's good to know other people's perspectives because they also might know information, a lot more information than you, because they're on the ground. They might, you might, you have blind spots, or also just a different perspective is always refreshing. So this reminds me of the yes anding, like, yes, this is a good idea, and let's build on it with another idea. So that way, you by yourself can come up, for example, with 3 ideas, let's assume. But like if you're in a room with 6 people, as an example, everyone has 3 ideas. That's like 18 ideas.
Yeah.
So you can have more of a shot at getting to a solution, a more creative solution, or just understanding everyone's perspective, and it brings people together. So it does create also that trust, not just with you, by creating that space for communication, but it also builds your credibility that, okay, I can voice my opinion. I'll be heard, and also I will listen to you because you did listen to me as well. So, yeah.
I'm going to put this one out there, Vetris, because you and I have discussed this before. Vetris and I frequently comment on the fact that you have boot camps for players to improve their skills. Where's the boot camp for coaches?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think
maybe one day soon, because the industry is definitely advancing. No, really.
No, I agree.
That makes sense. But we might not call them boot camps, maybe workshops.
Or an academy,
for academy,
yeah. Academies. Sounds like all the same. Put them through a boot camp.
Yeah.
Do you know, the funny thing is, many people, I have friends who, husband and wife team, that have put together sort of boot camps for teams, but they really are based on a lot of heavy physical. All right. And they warn people ahead of time. This is going to make you really, really tired, and then you have to function as a team.
Okay.
So I actually think if you run a normal workshop and you don't cause any pain, mental or stress or challenge, then it's not a good training. Training, when you've had a good training, you feel it. You've been asked to push your limits, and that's why maybe you need coach boot camps.
Yeah, I feel I know what you're saying. I agree. Like when you've had a good workout, and like I'm that tired, but like it feels good. You have those endorphins. Yeah. That rush of endorphins. Like this was good. Like I hate it. Yeah. I hate it, but like it was good.
Filters off when you're tired. Filters off. That's
That's a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really funny. I think that none of us, like we are all creatures of comfort.
Yeah. You will always seek back. Yeah.
But boy, do we learn when it's not.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
We definitely talked about many difficulties, not just like one difficulty, and many essential skills as well, like empathy, like building trust as a difficulty and also as a skill. I think the difficulties also translate as skills as well, like building trust, communication, empathy.
They are the challenge.
Yeah, they are a challenge, but like behind the challenge is the skill as a reward. That was a great discussion.